Hello everyone. The public protector, Advocate Gcaleka, said that the remarks by DA Member of Parliament Glenis Breitenberg, which insinuated that she slept her way to the top, were unfortunate. She was responding to a question at the Cape Town Press Club on Tuesday about how she would relate to Parliament's Justice Portfolio Committee following Breitenberg's comment. Gcaleka said she had faced severe criticism in her position as Deputy Public Protector, but she went back and accounted to the committee and related very well with all committee members, including Breitenberg. She said, "It doesn't give me sleepless nights. My CV, my career, my experience speaks for itself, and the work I've done in the past and will continue to do speaks for itself." Yes, her comments were unfortunate. I found them very unfortunate, especially at the stage of our democracy. But again, I had to remind myself that we operate in a very complex environment, and the truth be told, I'm the public protector of the Republic of South Africa. She said her priorities were to ensure she leads the institution in a manner that it serves all, that is independent, impartial, fair, and conducts itself in a manner that is not prejudicial against anyone and is accountable to Parliament. She further said, "For me to discharge these constitutional duties, I have to remove my personal feelings. I have an institution I need to lead, not only for me but for the people of South Africa." During parliamentary debate to consider Gcaleka's recommendation for public protector on October 19, Breitenberg opposed the recommendation, citing reasons why she should not be appointed. She insinuated that Gcaleka, who formerly worked at the National Prosecuting Authority, and former NPA boss Menzi Simelane were more than friends or colleagues. Breitenberg said her close relationship, some say intimate relationship with her boss, the rather odious Menzi Simelane, led to speedy promotions and her very vocal and active support of his role in the capture of the NPA.
Ms. Gcaleka does not come to this point without a past. She was a prosecutor in the National Prosecuting Authority with some experience in litigation. Not investigation, that's not the job of a prosecutor. Her very cozy relationship, and some say intimate relationship with her boss, the rather odious Menzi Simelane, led to speedy promotions and her very vocal and active support of his role in the capture of the NPA.
And Breitenberg was thrown out of the House when she refused to withdraw the remarks. When Gcaleka was asked why the public should trust the office, Gcaleka said it will depend on the quantity and integrity of the work of the office produces. She said, "I believe we've started the path. We already have a quality assurance team from branch level led by COO at a higher stage and at final stage led by me. Any report I sign is approved through the quality assurance team, which has the COO, CEO, and executive management of the institution. There is no single report I have produced when I was acting in 2021 and when I was acting recently that is known by the institution." Gcaleka said those mechanisms remain in place to ensure that there are checks and balances, even with herself as the head of the institution who must make the final decisions. She said, "We don't always agree, but at least there is accountability and transparency, even if I must make the final decision." Gcaleka furthermore said that when she was appointed as acting public protector after her predecessor Busisiwe Mkhwebane's suspension in June 2022, the institution was quite vulnerable but has gone through rebuilding which continues, and said, "We are an institution on the path of healing." We are now moving on to the Premier of Gauteng, Panyaza Lusufi. Panyaza has apologized for his outburst recorded in a video which has been circulating widely on social media platforms. While addressing the South African National Civic Organization SANCO Congress on Sunday, Lusufi expressed deep disappointment with an unnamed cabinet minister who he accused of refusing to recognize Gauteng's thousands of crime prevention wardens who are referred as Panyaza. He said, "We've trained these young people to be police wardens. You as a minister, you are failing to recognize them. Your days are numbered. We can't. When young people are assisting us to fight crime, we can't. When young people are assisting us to fight crime and you have undermined them, you can't. When we've trained young people to be in the streets in our townships, to protect young people when they study in our schools at night and you don't want to recognize them. We say to this minister, give us the power of these young people to have the power to get guns so that they can protect our townships and chase away criminals in our own areas. And we are committed to that. Which analysts say has created a row with some cabinet ministers in national government, justice, crime prevention and security cluster. Some analysts have interpreted the outburst to be directed at Police Minister Gcaleka, who was not at the event. Other commentators believe the message was directed to Minister of Justice Ronald Lamola. However, as the video circulated widely, Lucifer apologized on Monday evening, saying his video came across as insensitive and threatening. He said, "The content of my presentation, as per the leak, came across as insensitive and threatening to a government minister, and for that, I apologize and accept full responsibility for what I said," said in a statement that was shared on social media platform. He said, "Unfortunately, this leaked brief except from my sensitive presentation did not put our appreciation of the work of the police and other law enforcement organizations into context. Instead, it elevated our concerns and frustrations." Passionate internal political deliberations among comrades and allies laced with frustration, delivered in haste and with little tact, can cause harm when none was intended. He indicated that there are plans to meet the relevant ministers and to make amends. The Premier said, "Since our frustration with fighting crime stems from a genuine desire to make a difference, we are actively pursuing a meeting with the relevant ministers to clear the air and make amends." Last week, the media reported that the Gauteng Department of Community Safety has handed over appointment letters to more than 5,000 successful job applicants as part of the #Nasisipani mass recruitment drive. The department revealed that this will be a continuous process by the Gauteng provincial government to reduce unemployment. The police minister Gcaleka has responded to Panyaza and said his department is not responsible for giving Gauteng crime prevention wardens powers to work as law enforcers. Gcaleka has told the Sowetan publication that it is not the police ministry responsible for recognition of peace wardens, but rather the DOG, which is Department of Justice and Correctional Services. We are now moving on to Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. The CASAC has issued a warning to the Chief Justice. Raymond Zondo's remarks in a TV interview on Monday crossed the boundaries of acceptance speech by judges and should be reproached. This is according to the Council for the Advancement of South African Constitution. CASAC also urged Zondo to exercise restraint in his public engagements and to always act with the best interest of the judiciary in mind. Zondo participated in a wide-ranging interview on Newsroom Africa where he expressed his views on several topics, including the implementation of recommendations of the State Capture Commission, judicial misconduct, and the pending prosecution of former President Jacob Zuma. During the interview, Zondo said, "I won't speak a lot about it because I understand there is a litigation, but this I can say. Anyone who kept themselves informed about what people were saying at the time when his remission happened and he was released would simply know there were a lot of people who were saying if government doesn't want him to serve a sentence in jail, what is this corruption trial all about that has been going on for so long? It means even if he were to be found guilty, which at this stage we don't know if he will be found guilty, but even if he were, if a judge sentences him to jail, it means that something will be done to ensure he doesn't stay in jail. That is what people are asking and were concerned about." The news anchor then asked Zondo whether there was any point then in prosecuting Zuma, to which Zondo replied and said, "I would say as long as the NPA says it has enough evidence to justify prosecuting him, he must be prosecuted. If the executive does not want him to spend time in jail, let the country know. The NPA and the courts would have done their part and let the executive deal with the public at that time. So I would not say any trial must stop. I will say let's continue doing what we believe is right. The interview follows the Zondo's remarks at the National Anti-Corruption Advisory Council conference last week, in which he expressed his views on similar issues. CASAC regards the Chief Justice's remarks as unfortunate and ill-advised. The Constitution guarantees judicial independence and to that end grants judges security of tenure and ensures that their remuneration and their benefits cannot be reduced. The CASAC also stated that these measures were meant to insulate judges from political pressure and other outside influences. In return, judges were expected to stay clear of political controversy and everyday partisan politics and to carry out their judiciary function impartially and without fear or favor. CASAC also said that the Code of Judicial Conduct requires judges to not publicly comment the merits of any case pending before or determined by that judge or any other court, and to not express views in a manner which may undermine the standing and integrity of the judiciary. The organization said while answering questions about recommendations of the State Capture Commission, which he chaired, Zondo ventured into commentary about matters he has no personal knowledge of, even speculating as to the reasons for the government's failure to implement the recommendations. It further said more concerning were the Chief Justice's comments regarding the pending arms jail corruption trial of former President Jacob Zuma, a matter that is still pending before the High Court, as well as his insinuation that Zuma may in future benefit from a remission of sentence if tried and convicted. CASAC said these comments, as well as Zondo's willingness to take media interviews generally, create the risk of perceptions that may compromise his and the judiciary's standing and integrity. Said Zondo may be perceived as a warding into the public discourse about the partisan politics and potentially bringing his impartiality and that of his colleagues into question at the time of his political contestation ahead of the 2024 general elections.